3 days to the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Welcome to Joy News Prime. We're coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomleme, Accra. We're also live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. I am Carlos Kaloni.
And I am Faustina. So for tonight, residents of Garu in the Upper East region plunged into shock after gunmen opened fire on civilians at the National Health Insurance Authority office, killing 4 and leaving several others critically injured. We're live in the community. Also, Galamsey-induced water crisis spirals out of control as the menace spreads to more regions, crippling more treatment plants, with the Ghana Water Limited demanding 300 million cedis to avert a complete collapse of the country's water supply system. Also tonight, President John Dramani Mahama vows to end the recurring financial breaches flagged in the Auditor General's report as he meets the Chief Justice, the Attorney General and Auditor General to establish special courts that would deal swiftly with infractions. And later, Aminiampon SHS outclasses Ola SHS Hope with 69 points. Remember, we are Joy News. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. A good time to take a seat and please be our guest.
Grateful for your time here on Joy News Prime. Now, a sense of unease has settled over Garu in the Upper East region after news broke of a deadly shooting at the National Health Insurance Authority office. 4 people have been tragically killed, with several others left injured after unknown gunmen on 2 motorcycles opened fire on civilians, sparking panic and chaos in the usually quiet town. The motive behind the attack remains unclear. This incident was confirmed by the Garu District Chief Executive, John Abari, on the pulse with Faustina Safo.
Yeah, in fact, we just dropped a corpse of one of the deceased persons to a village under Boku called Manga. So I'm just from there coming back. In fact, we don't have any arrest or anything from the police yet, because we are just running here and there trying to organize things. But for now, there is no any arrest that has been made yet. Yeah, the number that have been confirmed from the hospital as that are 4. And about 4 people too are also injured. But that is, I cannot confirm whether that is all the number or not, because we are just busy moving around, even depositing the corpse to the family. I think.
Well, let's go on the lines now and speak to our correspondent, Albert Sorry. Albert, you've been following this story since morning. What more are you learning regarding this particular incident?
So at the moment, the residents are still grappling with what the motive could be for this attack. Assailants did not rob anybody. They didn't also seem to be targeting the people that they shot at. They just came into the place, opened fire, and then while they were leaving, anybody that they saw on the way, they fired at the person. We also understand that they moved to a neighboring village and they allegedly shot some other people there. And so it's created, a bit of panic or tension, if you like, because a lot of the residents there do not understand why this attack was carried out, and even as we speak, where the assailants could be, because they haven't been arrested yet.
And what is the security situation in Garu?
Garu is usually a very quiet place. Remember, it's one of the districts in the Boko enclave. And so because of the volatile situation of Boko, a few times we've had some sort of spillovers into the area. Outside of that, there usually isn't any security problems in Garu or Timpani for that matter. So the security situation is generally peaceful. From what the district chief executive tells us, some police patrols, were in the place, in the town earlier today, trying to see if they could gather information, try to see if they could trace these assailants. They gathered that they left the town and used a road that leads to the northeast region from that part of the country. What we cannot tell exactly is whether they were headed for the northeast region or they were going somewhere else.
All right, Albert, thank you so much for those updates.
Well, let's now speak to the assembly member for the area. He's also the presiding member of Garu Assembly, Bartholomew. Sorry, we appreciate your time here on Joy News Prime. Let's start with first-hand information on what exactly transpired this morning. Tell us more. You have to unmute, sir, for me to hear you clearly. Sir, please, you have to unmute for us to hear you clearly. I just wanted you to give us first-hand information based on the briefing you've received from the Ghana Police Service. What actually happened during this incident? Well, whilst we reconnect the line, we're just trying to speak to the assembly member for the area, Garu to be precise. We're getting updates. If you just tune in, we have been engaging with them the whole day after we heard of a shooting incident at the National Health Insurance Authority office. So far, we know that 4 people have been killed and others injured, and we're working on reconnecting the lines to the DC for the area. We just want to get updates on arrests so far. Hopefully, when we have clear connection to him, we'll have that conversation. Away from that, management of the Celebrity Golf Club are demanding urgent intervention over what they describe as targeted encroachment on their land. This comes in the wake of a shooting incident at the facility linked to a long-running land dispute. Captain of the club, Alex Opong, tells Joy News the deliberate attempt to take over the green buffer zone adjoining the Sakumono Ramsar site threatens not just the future of the course, but also the survival of wildlife and coastal protection in the area. Stephen Mensah reports.
A shooting incident that occurred on Saturday, October 17, at the Celebrity Golf Club in Sakumono. Management of the facility are demanding a coordinated enforcement operation to deter unlawful entry, threats, and damage to its grounds. According to officials of the facility, the firing of firearms at the facility stemmed from ongoing land disputes. Captain of the club, Alex Opon Balfour, warns that encroaching on the recreational space will destroy the green buffer adjoining the Sakumono Ramsar site, which plays a critical role in supporting biodiversity and coastal protection.
This core has become important because beyond recreation, Celebrity Golf Club serves as a green buffer adjoining the Sakumono Ramsar site, supporting biodiversity and coastal protection. Now, where you see the structures now, according to Forestry Commission, that falls under the Ramsar site area. And so all of that area is supposed to be Ramsar site. Now, unfortunately, these guys are building there and nothing seems to be done to them. The grounds also function as an emergency congregation and muster point, as well as a helicopter landing and takeoff site during national response operations.
A Joy News visit to the course today revealed intensive construction works on parts of the land. Captain Opon Balfour insists these developments amount to encroachment on property belonging to the club.
And all the structures you see there are less than a year old. All of them, the whole place. This whole thing started towards the latter part of last year. Yeah. And so they are building with massive speed. And with the assumption that once they reach a certain level, nothing can be done to them. That is why they're doing that. It's totally unacceptable. This issue didn't just happen. I don't think anybody can pretend that they're surprised. This issue started a long time ago, and we've informed all the relevant authorities. The Minister for Sports was here. He came here, we took him around, he saw everything and said, look, you contact the relevant authorities to ensure that this thing stopped. Nothing happened. It's been months.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service has confirmed that investigations into Saturday's shooting are underway. In a statement signed by Superintendent Juliana Obeng, Head of Public Affairs for the Greater Accra region, the police confirmed that 3 suspects have so far been arrested in connection with the incident.
Let's take you back to our earlier story and bring in the Assembly Member for Garu, Bartolomeo Asori. We appreciate your time here on Joy News Prime. We just wanted to get updates, really. What transpired today based on the briefing you've received from the police? Sir, please, you have to position rightly and speak. I'm just asking you what briefing you've received from the police. We wanted to find out currently as we speak, has there been any arrests made? Unfortunately.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Please make your point.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh dear. We seem to be struggling with connection to the Assembly Member for the area. Let's move on.
Well, to some other stories, Ghana's water crisis has reached a boiling point. The Galamsey menace has spread its tentacles to more regions, poisoning water sources and crippling treatment plants. With the Ghana Water Limited crying out for 300 million Ghana cedis to protect and restore its facilities, the nation hold its breath. What began as a challenge in parts of the central region has extended to the Ashanti, Eastern and Western regions, where treatment plants are struggling to operate due to situation or citation of water sources. Fatau Bayaga has more.
The company says the challenge is hitting them hard as their major water treatment plants are adversely affected, escalating their costs to unsustainable levels. Managing Director Adam Mutawakilu says the company urgently requires 300 million Ghana cedis to safeguard its treatment facilities and embark on large-scale desilting exercises to sustain water production.
If you refer to published figures from the Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources, a cubic feet is averaging about 150 Ghana cedis. To distill 1 cubic feet is averaging around 150 Ghana cedis. So the budget is huge. But when you take Berekesi out, the others, within about 300 million, can undertake it.
He adds that if the situation is not tackled, water treatment will be severely hindered.
The gap between regulated revenue and siltation-driven costs stretches the company beyond reasonable limits, and if left unaddressed, threatens the sustainability of our mandate to deliver safe, reliable water.
That's not all.
If siltation continues unchecked, costs will cascade across the economy. Beverage and bottling firms will see slowdowns. Hospitals and schools will be phased into water cutting with obvious hygiene and service risk.
Despite the severity of the situation, Mutawakilu dismissed calls for the president to declare a state of emergency on illegal mining, insisting such a move would not provide a lasting solution to the menace.
If you declare state of emergency in one area, they will migrate to another area. So at the end of the day, the whole Ghana will be in the state of emergency. It's what measures can we put in place for it to be sustained? Is state of emergency going to be there forever? That is the question we must ask. We can't have state of emergency forever. So there must be pragmatic measures, as the President Mama had put it, to make sure that we put in measures to sustain it, and that will be sustained forever.
For Joy News, Fatau Bayaga, Accra.
Away from that, pressure is mounting tonight for an expedited overhaul of the computerized school selection placement system following widespread challenges endured and faced by parents as well as students. Many struggle to access or process their information on the platform, leading to long queues and frustration at help centers. This comes on the day the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, admitted that the system is not working as it should, revealing that several top-performing students missed out on good schools, while others had their preferred courses changed without consent. He announced government's plan to review the system while visiting the Presbyterian Boys Secondary School at Legon.
I have observed that some parents are unhappy, justified. Some students are unhappy, justified. because he chose a particular course, science, and was given general arts or business, that will be a disincentive even for that child to study hard and give his best. So it means that the computerized placement system is not working well for the country, and I'm happy to review it, and I would review it. I've put in place a committee to review its performance over the decade and then give me a credible alternative. What we need is meritorious admission. I mean, nobody would accept that you get a 6, you can't get the school of your first choice. What can explain that? It cannot be explained because that candidate has been pushed away by protocols. That's unfair. And we'll look into that, and we'll look very closely to that and see what we do. So,
meanwhile, in several schools across the country, parents and their wards are stuck in long queues waiting for hours to complete enrollment. Some arrived as early as 3 a.m. today and are still waiting for their turn. Frustrations are clearly mounting. Let's start from Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, where my colleague Edem Kojo has been stationed for hours. Edem, when did you arrive at the school and what's the situation as we speak?
Faustina, we arrived a few hours ago, and when we got there, if you look at my right-hand side, all these seats were actually filled with persons. Parents coming around to ensure that their wards actually have admission or are admitted to the various halls of this university. Now, Faustina, what you should know is that this where I'm currently standing is the assembly hall, which is where the general science students are going through their processes. I'm told that apart from this place, there are at least 3 or 4 other buildings where other students, be it business, general art, visual art, are also undergoing a similar process. So for those who probably are here to take their wards to school, this is the process. You come to the first juncture where your biometrics are taken. After your biometrics are taken, you then move to another center where the items that you are supposed to bring, that is your prospectus, are inspected. Then you move to the third place, which is where you are given a hostel or a hall of residence. And then finally, you go in there, go through the process, and then you are given a bed. So this is what parents have been going through throughout the day. In fact, we are told that the process was supposed to start at 8 a.m. and then at 4:30 p.m., but it's past 7 p.m. and parents are still seated here waiting to ensure that their wards going. Well, I have with me a parent who has been here for well over 6 hours, and I want her to share experience with me. Good evening, madam. Your name, please.
Good evening. My name is Gladys Ahun.
Okay. So, Madam Gladys, what time did you get here, and what has been your experience so far?
Okay. I got here around 11:30 a.m. and when we came, we were told the science students are being registered at the assembly hall, so the parent has to stay outside while the children goes in to do the admission. So that's what I had.
Now, I can see so many seats here. You told me earlier that the whole place was packed. In there, what was happening in there as well? Since parents, you are not able to go in, but you were having a peek at what was happening there.
Okay, what I know is actually they were attending to the protocols. So other students who are not on the protocol list were waiting. And it got to a time that the student got so tired that they have to overtake their the other counterpart. Maybe when it's not up to them, they just have to go and take the other seat. So there was a bit chaotic in the area.
Okay, so you talk about protocol. I also picked up that there's one issue. They are supposed to take their biometrics here, but we were told earlier that there was an orientation here where students were asked to do their biometrics at home. But when they came here, they encountered another problem. What exactly was that?
I think some of the students couldn't get the necessary forms, so we were told to go to the admission to get them. So that's what happened. I think some of the parents couldn't get all the forms that it's needed from the school, so they have to go back and get them.
Okay, so you've been here for a long time. I'm sure your ward has finished the process now.
Yes, what I'm happy about is they gave us from 8:30 to 5:30 p.m., but it's as at 7 o'clock now, they are still working, so I'm so happy about the school.
Okay, so yeah, so So yes, so thank you so much, Madam Gladys. And apart from Madam Gladys, there are so many parents here. Because of how they've been tired the whole day, people are leaving the center because the center is almost empty to move to the other places. And so from Presec Legon, this is the story of what day one of registration and entrance into secondary school has been for these young ones. Edem Kojo reporting.
Thank you, Edem. Now, away from that.
Government is setting up special courts to handle cases arising from audit infractions in the Auditor General's report. These courts will enforce surcharges, disallowances, and prosecute related offences. The decision follows a meeting between the President, John Dramani Mahama, Chief Justice, Attorney General, and Auditor General to strengthen enforcement of audit findings. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba has more in the following report.
Recently, I've been watching the Public Accounts Committee, and it's so pathetic. You know, why must we every year congregate at the Public Accounts Committee, and then you hear all kinds of atrocious, things. I mean, recklessness with public funds and resources. And so I have a meeting on Thursday with the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and others to find a final solution to this Auditor General's report, that persons who are found guilty of infractions or do not follow due procedure or lead to loss of public resources, we must have a fast-track process to Nsawam, Fast-track, before you see you in Nsawam, 6 months. Until we do that, until there's a deterrent, we're going to come every year and they say total misappropriation and infractions of found out by the Auditor General is about 15 billion cedis. I mean, if we save 15 billion cedis, can you imagine what it could do?
President Mahama says that audit report implementation committees are not functioning effectively and very little is done after Public Accounts Committee hearings. The president expressed optimism that the new measures to be discussed will serve as a deterrent to others.
And so we're going to have a meeting, we're going to brainstorm. We've not fully implemented the constitutional provision. There's a part of the provision that says after the Public Accounts Committee has sat on the Auditor General's report, Parliament must set up a committee. What we don't know is whether it should be a parliamentary committee or it's a committee not necessarily made of parliamentarians to implement the findings of the Auditor General. Right now, what we use is the audits, the ARICs. Every department is supposed to set up an ARIC. But once they've come from the Public Accounts Committee, virtually nobody follows up on what's the recommendations that were given. And so the audit reports implementation committees are not working. And so we must find a way where we are able to create a deterrent until people know that you can be held responsible for these things that you do. They'll continue to do the same thing. And so after Thursday, I'm sure we'll come up with some way where persons who are culpable of misusing the resources of the people will be held to account, so that others, do not follow suit.
Away from that, the clock is ticking. 9 months have passed since the former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, was declared a fugitive of justice, and yet he remains in the United States, defying calls to return or face trial in Ghana. His lawyers are now questioning the special prosecutor's commitment to extraditing him, with the OSP facing criticism for not exploring all legal avenues to bring him to justice. Lawyer for Ken Ofori-Atta, Frank Davis, says his client is medically not fit to return to Ghana and expects the OSP to explore all available legal options at its disposal.
If we really want the person to come, we need to make an extradition request to where we believe.
I have already said to you, and it's a notorious fact, that Ken Ofori-Atta had health challenges. Currently, he has gone through surgery and he is recuperating, something that is known to each and every other Ghanaian in this republic. It is no news. So Ken Ofori-Atta is well. The OSP went against all legally permissible means to have him interrogated or interviewed, and he was insisting that he wanted an in-person interview with Ken Ofori-Atta and that he will use all the legal force of the state to have him extradited to Ghana. And that is what we have all been waiting for. If Ken Ofori-Atta by himself is not coming, there's a reason why he is not coming, because his health is still challenged. In any event, the OSP has told Ghanaians that he is going to use all the force at his command to have Ken Ofori-Atta brought into the country. If Ken Ofori-Atta is not coming, as you are alleged, the OSP should be in a position to bring him. Or
well, the Deputy Attorney General, Srimsai, says several requests to OSP to avail the docket on the case to initiate the extradition request has proven futile.
If we want the person to come, we need to make an extradition request to where we believe he is, which is the U.S. We are the only authority, that's the Attorney General Office, we are the only authority that can make extradition. But we need a docket from an investigative docket from the OSP to be able to make these extradition requests. As of today, we still do not have a docket from the OSP. We have made several requests to the OSP, written letters, written demands to the OSP, asking that now that you've announced to the world that you are ready to have this person extradited, and there have been communication to that effect that even we've seen communication to the effect that the docket is ready and it's only the Attorney General that can make the. So we have been asking for the docket for a couple of, I think about 2 months now. We still do not have the dockets from the OSP. And so without the dockets, you cannot go to the American authorities and say, this is the person we want him. No, you need to show, because when they are asking for people to be extradited to the United States, they bring the full dockets of, as if they are going to court. And then we take that docket to court for the court to see whether there's really merit for bringing the person down. We have to do the same thing. We also have to take a full docket of all the evidence and what we believe the law, and then we take it to the United States authorities, and they will process the extradition and bring it.
Lawyer Martin Pebu has suggested that the OSP should initiate a trial in absentia against Ken Ofori-Atta if the former finance minister is refusing to return to Ghana.
That come for me. I said, this is his country. He has some properties here. So let's start. If we start and he doesn't come, then the trial will go on without him. That's how come we say that let's do the processes, take the offer. Have you gone to Ofori-Atta to take a statement in America? And he says no. No, he says you do it. So let's do it. Then we can start the trial here. Article 19, Clause 3. Let me read it. People have been misleading others. In our constitution, there is no requirement that Ofori-Atta should come to court day one and then travel and not come back before you can continue. No. Article 19, Clause 3 just simply says that if you know there is a case, a criminal case against you, and you don't come, we can go and leave you. That's the trial can go on in your absence. So if you take Ofori-Atta's statements in the U.S., then afterwards you send him notice through the same channels that we are starting the trial, and he says you will not come, then the judge will go on.
You're still watching Joy News Prime with us here, but still to come. Amenian Pond SHS outclassed Ola SHS Hope with 69 points to qualify for the 1/8 stage of the 2025 National Science and Math Quiz. Stay with us.
That's correct.
So today's content has been marvelous.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us here on Joy News Prime.
To other stories now, local pharmaceutical companies are actually struggling to access clean water for producing fluid-based medicines as illegal mining continues to pollute major water bodies. The Hospital Pharmacists Association has expressed concern over high turbidity levels affecting industries and health facilities. The national chairman, Dr. Emmanuel Owusu, is calling for urgent action against illegal mining. He spoke at the annual conference of the Pharmacy Technicians Association of Ghana.
So the decision should be something decisive, and I think we want a more drastic approach so that we do not have issues with the production of pharmaceuticals, which is there. Water make up more than 95% of the composition of infusions, whether Renges lactic, normal saline, etc. And pharmaceutical companies are having issues getting quality water for the production of infusions.
Well, Dr. Owusu-Wiafe further highlighted the impact of the illegal mining operation on health, citing an increase in the number of patients suffering from kidney and liver diseases.
The issue is that, if you are talking about some of these heavy metals that are found in water, either lead, cadmium, if you are talking about mercury, etc., of course, some of them have the tendency to chelate with other existing, medications that they may be taking. And so obviously there is, that direct impact. But that is mostly found in areas where the galamsey, menace is really growing, but across some sections of the population we are not directly really experiencing these conditions.
Amenyampong SHS proved their class once again in the NSMQ 2025 prelims, crushing to a dominant 69 points, a massive 28 points ahead of Ola SHS from home. But even after that emphatic display, the Ashanti region giants say they are far from satisfied, insisting they are more in the tank as they chase perfection on the national stage. My colleague Collins Frimpong has more in this report.
Amenyampong Senior High.
20 joules.
Yes, that's correct.
So today's content has been marvelous. We won, so we are going to prepare for the next one. So we are now focusing on the next contest. If we win that one, then we know what to do next.
Were you happy with the performance?
Somehow. I'm not all that okay with the performance, but somehow. So
the contest was okay. But our marks, we should have gotten higher marks, but I don't know what happened. It could have been maybe our force or something like that, but we could have done better.
69 points, you think it wasn't good enough?
It wasn't good enough. We messed up in the speed race.
We were expecting much higher score than what they got. And we are hoping for today, we will say this is the preliminary stage, so we will not talk much. We will go and then we prepare hard and then we will come back. And we are coming back stronger. Yes, we are coming back stronger.
What message do you have for the other schools there?
They should watch out for Amenyampong. They should watch out for Amenyampong. We are coming like Kakai, so.
So that's Amenyampong Senior High School. They secured 69 points in the contest 6. Yes, they came up against big schools there, Ola SHS from Ho and also Joaboso SHS, who were making their first entrance in the national championship, and they came up on top with over 28 points more ahead of the second place team. Watch out for Amenyampong Senior High School, who are hoping to clinch the national title.
Our last word is Amenyampong is like a ninja in the night, silent, stealthy, and ready to ignite. We will calculate, we will strategize, and we will strike. And when we do, your scores will take a hike. Bye.
Well, choosing a place to stay involves many considerations, and security is certainly a top priority. Now, that's where Special Gardens, a master planned gated community, comes in. By selecting them at the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, you can eliminate your worries about safety.
Special Gardens, which was our first property we started, and now we have Towers, which is at East Legon. So Special Gardens is at Oyarefa, 2-minute drive from Pantan Junction. So we have townhomes and then condos. So we have 1 to 4 bedrooms, townhomes and condos.
We are dealers in smart home automation, electric fencing, CCTV installation, and also magnetic track lighting system. and also ceiling speakers, Bluetooth ceiling speakers. Okay, so we are here today at this Habitat Fair to display our products and to gain more customers for this company.
While you're still watching Joy News Prime, we'll take a breather. We'll return with Showbiz. Please stay.
Well, it's time for Showbiz, and Becky Bex is not in the studio. She's on leave, but guess what? She left a worthy successor. Ladies and gentlemen, drum rolls, please. David, drum rolls. Oh, David. Adobia would be doing it for her. And so we're looking forward to today's episode. Hi, darling.
Hi, Fosti. How are you?
I'm great.
You're looking good.
Gorgeous as usual, my darling. So tell me what's happening in the world of entertainment.
Okay, so a lot is happening in the world of entertainment, and I'm here to give you a rundown of what went on over the weekend. So we are going straight to Taking Over with the show Ghana. Taking over with the go harder. I know my voice is very terrible, but we are going straight to Shattafest's camp because Shattafest has showed Ghana. Over the weekend, he organized a massive feast in relation to his birthday Shattafest. And you should see the crowd. Oh my God. The turnout was just beautiful. The lineup of artists from Sarkodie, my favorite, Medical, Stone, Samini, Wendy Shea, and the rest. It was so beautiful. And one thing that was exciting about the event was Richard Ni Amakwe also supporting the event with free food for attendees through his food bank initiative. Viewers, if you missed any part of the excitement that went on over the weekend, here is a glimpse of what went down.
I've had a move with tutu. One was saying a junkie, and someone to look at me. Oh, you too. After the 4,000 sister.
I mean, who can tell me that Shattafest is not blessed? Look at the fans, the crowd that filled the event. And trust me, Shattafest has fans from all ranges, like different age group, nationalities, because we saw a Chinese actually singing Shattafest's song. Let's take a look at this video.
I bet just some and I saw him and I want join me like he said, Kiratini. Happy birthday!
Isn't this beautiful?
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
But do you have a favorite from Shattafest? Do you love any of his
Well,
songs?
the most recent one, the shoulder one.
Oh, okay.
I forgot the name.
Medical and Shatta.
Oh,